Good morning, my beautiful people. Just on a little stroll to go play some tennis. One of my brothers from out here in Cali, young dude, he actually hit me up some time ago. Going through rehab and kind of getting out of a couple things and stuff, some situations he got himself into, and moving on to something better in life. So yeah, we hang out, hit, talk life, and today is one of those days. But this morning I kind of wanted to touch on something a little bit different. I don't really get too techy or too like specific on certain topics and certain things. Because frankly, I don't like to get too deep into things I don't know about when I'm just speaking, about myself. If we're having a conversation, I love it, especially like when someone I'm speaking with has like, really good knowledge on that subject. It's really fun always to learn a lot. And I always feel like I ask kind of questions on my perspective that are different than most people, or, in general anyway. So yeah, this morning it's, Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. Man, as we've all seen, things have boomed, went crazy the last couple of years. And there's, man, I don't know, just on my feed by itself, a couple hundred or so gurus out of the woodworks that all of a sudden are just preaching, claiming, and pushing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which is great, you know what I mean? But I do caution everybody to be real wise in who you follow on these type of things and to make sure you vet them and do your own research. None of these people are, I don't think even legally can be any kind of financial advisors for something like crypto or Bitcoin. Maybe they can, I don't know, but I don't think they can. I know my financial advisors and the people who do my investments, they definitely can. But yeah, let me tell you about my little Bitcoin cryptocurrency story. So, I follow this one buddy of mine, and smart kid from Alabama, made it on his own, hustler from I believe Zimbabwe or some an African country somewhere. But went to college in Alabama, hustled, back then, still hustling to this day. He kind of quote unquote put me on Bitcoin in 2016 or 17. And I had just started making a tiny bit of money. And I didn't really want to spend it on trash. So, obviously I was smoking quite a bit of weed and partying back then. So I had other things I did spend it on. But one of the things I took, I want to say roughly 3 to 4 thousand of my own money. Um, my father invested with me back then as well. I think about the same amount. We bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a little Litecoin. So as we all know, not even 6 months later or so, Bitcoin boomed. It went up to 20 to 30,000 from a couple thousand, something like that. Some ridiculous number which you don't really see in the investment world. However, we saw it, and my dad got to see it as well. Shortly later it crashed again before it got to where it is this year. So what I did when I had those quote unquote massive gains, I didn't take a penny out. I re-diversified it into alternative coins, smaller coins based on, certain tasks that they're accomplishing within the cryptocurrency environment and community. Yeah, so for me, I believed in the tech. I saw a place where I'm doing transactions in India and Asia, and bank fees are high, transaction times take forever, currency exchange gets mixed up in the middle, and I was like, cool, there's this new thing out there that's going to allow me to reach small vendors and different people around the world, accept payment and send payment to them for a lower fee, as well as faster transaction, and supposedly safer as well. So blockchain and that whole world opened up to me. I was like, wow, like this is great. I'm not doing enough business yet to send enough money for it to make a difference, but one day I will be. And let me go ahead and plan for that. So that's when I started, kind of investing in it. And I would, do my research. I'd check out some companies and I'd put some money into them. Slowly here and there, companies like Telcoin, XRP, BAX, even Doge, I put a little bit in, Digibyte. Here, let me run through my list real quick. I can kind of share a couple more of the ones I did. And I mean, now a couple of years later, I diversified out into all different kind of ways. And The quote unquote claim to fame is I've taken that $3,000 or $4,000 investment, and I'm looking at over 50K right now, which I think 2 months ago was over 100K. The market is up and down, extremely volatile. If you look at it every day, you'll just fucking drive yourself crazy. So don't do that. Some other ones I'm in is DAI, Anchor, Ox, Uniswap, Chainlink, XRP, Litecoin, and that's all on Coinbase. And I'm on Coinbase, Bittrex, Voyager, and KuCoin. So there is a little bit of a learning curve, to get understand all these apps and stuff. But it is quite worth it. So Voyager, I have Tron, Bitcoin, ADA Cardano, Uniswap, Stellar, Matic, Vet, Algorand, Avax, Avalanche, IoT, Digibyte, VGX, and XVG. On there, I've put a total of, I believe, right around $1,000, $1,200 in, and I'm sitting at 4,400 right now. Um, so yeah, guys, like, this is a gamble. Bitcoin, crypto, even stocks. I think most of us know that these are all gambles that we make. However, I do believe that once you do your own research and you make an investment that's safe, meaning it's not money that you're taking out of your food budget or your kids' college savings or whatever have you, you're good. You'll be fine. And that's kind of the way I've done it. The last year, I've bought back in the dips and been rewarded very handsomely for it. Even though I wasn't going as big as I wanted to, I could have taken 10K and turned it into a ridiculous amount. But I do 500 to 1,000 at a time because I don't want to, dip in any other budget for my companies, for myself, or overextend myself on what still, is somewhat of a gamble. And we all see people making all these crazy amounts of money on YouTube and online. I just caution you to be wary of it. A lot of times people can be who they want to be on these social media apps and sites, and we don't really know what that is. So just caution you on that. But I do suggest and encourage everyone, that might tune into this to check out what's going on in the digital space in the world, with different options available for making money, passive income, for investing, for even, if you have a little bit extra that you want to try with, gambling almost. Um, the terms are almost interchangeably to me unless you're in some really safe, growth funds or market cap stocks or something like that. And once again, finance isn't my area. I actually kind of hate it. Um, but it's all part of our lives. So yeah, y'all, that's just a quick one. A little rant about how my 4 or 5 thousand in Bitcoin turned out to pretty much be over a $50,000, $100,000, win now. And I've already cashed out once. I cashed out some of my Dogecoin, tiny bit of it, and some of my Telcoin, a tiny bit when it was at the very peak about 2 months ago. Enough to take a nice little trip and enjoy myself and handle some small things I needed to handle. And really, I just wanted to see how easy the transactions were and if it would be difficult. It's a little bit to do. You got to transfer, you got to buy Bitcoin on Cash App, send that Bitcoin to another app, buy the coin on there, transfer it back to Bitcoin, send that back to Cash App, and then cash out. There's other ways to do it also. But for me, I just wanted to make sure, everything was working and it was good and I could actually, recoup some of my money when I wanted to. And it worked out well. So I'm sure I'll do another post on this in about 6 months when everything booms again and all the gurus are back out. I can come pop in and say a few words again. But yeah, y'all, always be pushing the boundary to see what's out there, to see what you can do, what you like. That's the way I found, what I like and what I really want is just to keep doing things. A lot of us get so caught up in trying to find our purpose and our passion and think about it and write about it, this and that. But in my experience, you find these things by just doing, by trying things. Some people say throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Put yourself out there, see what it is that you haven't done, and go try it. Painting, skydiving, drawing, walking, talking, associating or dissociating with people. Whatever it is, shake it up and try something different. For me, Bitcoin wasn't really something different. I'm one of those people that love being on the edge and getting the new tech and the new technology and see what's going on. So it made, perfect sense to me, and especially that I believe in the technology behind it as well. But yeah, you guys, I'm out here in the tennis court, getting ready to hit. My favorite thing to do. Peace, love, light, and blessings to you all. And tune back into the next podcast, folks. Peace, peace.